Hello? Can you see me? Can you see me in the books? Okay, welcome. Today we are going to be starting another continuing series I'm in the middle of reading vlog. And I wanted to, first of all, get out the options that we have on the docket for today's video. I am already in the middle of one of them. I kind of just started it. But I wanted to go over our options that we have, our TBR for this video. So these are most of the series I'm in the middle of, other than Mistborn, which I'm not in the mood for right now. The Ice Planet Barbarian series, I have 2 more of those that I own physically. Not in the mood for those right now. Series-wise, and then the Expanse series is also an option if I become in the mood for one of those during this video. However, I wanted to mostly focus on like my priority TBR right here. And these include some of the books that are on my August TBR. What do we have? We have The Front Runner, which is, I believe, I don't know if this is book 2 or 3. I keep getting confused. Either way, I am in the middle of the Gold Rush Ranch series. The Front Runner follows Stefan Dalka and Mira. And so this is the next one that I need to read in this series. It's just like small town. I wouldn't really call it cowboy per se, but it's more like horse ranch small town vibes. So this one is an option for today's video. Then we also have Broken Harbor, which is book 3 of Sparrow Falls by Catherine Cowles. But this one is very much like also small town, but with mystery elements, and I really liked the first 2 books. This one follows Copeland and Sutton, so I'm very excited for their story. Again, another option for today's video. These 3 over here are books that are all on my, I wish this would stay up, August TBR. We have Scarlet, which is book 2 of the Lunar Chronicles. This is a YA sci-fi fantasy dystopian type series, kind of like a Cinderella retelling, but the main character is a cyborg. And then I think this one introduces us to a new character. I think this one is like a Red Riding Hood retelling. So that's very fun and unique. So we have this one, which will be me continuing the Lunar Chronicles. And then the book that I'm reading right now is Thorns and Fire by Helen Scheurer. I don't ever know if I'm saying that right. And this is book 2 of the Ashes of Thesmar series, which is like the series that comes right after the Legends of Thesmar. The Legends of Thesmar has 4 books and it all follows like the same couple, the same characters. And then these books follow a different couple. And I love the MMC in these books. I'm obsessed with them. Can't say much because I don't want to give anything away, but I am reading this currently. So I'll do a little update on this one shortly. And then our other option, The Songbird and the Heart of Stone by Carissa Broadbent. And this is my beautiful new special edition from the Bookish box that just came in the mail. This one is another series. It's The Crowns of Nyaxia, but this is another example of a series where the first couple books follow a different couple, and then this one and her next book follows a different couple. This one follows Mish, which is a character that we get to see quite a bit of in the other 2 books, and I loved her, so I'm very excited to get like her romance with like whoever her guy's gonna be. And that's really all I know about this one. It's been so long since I read or have been in the Crowns of Nyaxia world that I'm excited, but I've also heard a lot of very mixed things about this one, so I'm interested in how I'm going to feel about it, right? So this is another option. We are starting, like I said, with Thorns and Fire because I'm currently reading this one. I am in chapter 10, so I'm like 85 pages in, and I am really enjoying this one. I did have to go and read like the last 10 chapters maybe of Iron and Embers. I had to go read like the last 10 chapters of that one to remember what was going on in this world that led to this book. And I'm glad I did that because that refresher had me like right back in it. I'm very interested in the conflict that's going on, the plot, the romance. The romance builds up a lot in the first one, and then you get some stuff. Again, I have to be very vague, but you get some stuff, and then that allows for this book, which is going to be great, I can tell. This series follows Ren, who is at Dravenor Academy training to be an alchemist. She's already a very skilled alchemist in the other book, and she is Thea's younger sister. So she's studying alchemy. She has to go through what's called the Gauntlet in book 1. So basically kind of like trials to become a full alchemist, and she's not quite a full alchemist yet in this book. She still has to basically do like view it as like a thesis, you know, basically, and then once you present your project, then you graduate and become like a full alchemist. They have a word for it, I'm not remembering right now. But anyway, so you have that, you have the romance, you have this dark plot going on of this like war that's kind of starting to kick off. And so yeah, I'm really excited to get further in, and I just want more romance between these characters. I want them to be happy together. I think this book might be a little bit shorter than the other one. Like, it looks shorter than the other one, even though it still says it's like 500 pages, which looking at it, it doesn't look like 500 pages. I'm already almost 100 pages in. It is Saturday night right now at like 6:30 p.m., which is why I have my lights on. My plan is to read a little bit more, get comfy, then I will let you guys know when I have an actual update. I don't know how much I'll be able to say about this, being that it is book 2 in a series. Just know that I'm loving it. I really just love this series. I actually think that I like this series even more so far than the first one. Something about the alchemy is like so good. Anyway, I'm gonna go, but I wanted to give you guys a little reading update. Good morning, happy Monday. It might not be Monday for you, but it is Monday for me, and I have some reading updates. I made my coffee, I worked out, I'm feeling good this morning. I had the best weekend. I spent some time with a friend, we got coffee, we sat by the lake, we chatted, we walked. It was exactly what I needed. It was literally the perfect day, and I feel like it has brought me back to life. So if you've been in a life slump or any kind of funk recently, like I've been, I know I've talked about it in a couple of my past videos. If you have been feeling like that too, number one, no, you're not alone. Number two, go out and do something that you don't usually do, even if it's just getting coffee and sitting by the lake with a friend, or reconnecting with a friend, or whatever it is. I think I tend to self-isolate when I'm mentally struggling, and that just makes everything worse, right? It just makes everything kind of spiral. And so again, I think this past weekend was exactly what I needed, because I now today feel so much more like myself, so inspired and just happy. So anyway, getting a little vulnerable today on this beautiful day. Let's talk about my current read, which is still, as you know, Thorns and Fire. I am about yay far in. I think my Kindle said like 66% maybe. I'm on chapter 41, and things are going places. I can't, again, obviously say much because this is the second book in a series. I feel like some of the conflict, some of the headbutting that we've been having, I feel like some of those things are starting to turn a new leaf. We're starting to get kind of to the crest and over the crest of the plot of this book, and so I'm very excited. I could not put this down last night. I was reading in bed on my Kindle for like probably 2 hours. We've been going to bed super early. That's given me a lot of great uninterrupted reading time. I love the main characters. I love the MMC. There's definitely a bit of like, in these books there is some like miscommunication, but it provides good tension and longing, which we love. And also the plot in these books is always really fun, and I always find myself completely captured. This is a great time. Right now, I think in my mind it's sitting somewhere in like the 4-star range. It's not quite a 5-star yet, but I guess only time will tell. But yeah, I'm loving this. There's that. I don't really have much else of an update for you guys. It's I want to go for a walk, but the air quality lately has been really bad. Like I keep getting air quality alerts saying that the air quality index is like over 100. So I'm like, should I be walking outside? I don't know. The air quality alert says no. So maybe I will walk on my treadmill, but I just like lately, all I want to do is be outside. I want to be outside. I want to be not on my phone. I want to be living life, you know? That's what I feel like lately. But at the same time, I also do enjoy content creation. So like here I am. But yeah, I feel like I'm saying a lot of nothing. I've had a lot of coffee. So like don't mind me. That's it. I think I'm going to probably get to reading later this afternoon. And as soon as I have, you know, any other updates, might not be honestly till I finish this because we're getting close. But I will keep you guys updated. Hello, I am back with reading updates. So sorry if the lighting is horrendous in here. I'm trying to get away from my AC, which is, you know, out in the living room being extremely loud. So we are in the bedroom in bad lighting. Because if I open up the windows, it's gonna get really hot in here, and I don't need that because I'm already sweating. Anyway, all of that to segue into the fact that I finished Thorns and Fire last night. I laid in bed reading on my Kindle literally until I finished this, and this was great. I've highly enjoyed it. I ended up giving it 4.25 stars, whereas I gave the first book in this series, Iron and Embers, I gave that one 4.5 stars. So this one gets 4.25, which feels right because I think I did like the first book just a little bit more. Sorry about this angle too. I'm like looking in the viewfinder and I'm like, do I look weird? Whatever, don't care. 4.25 stars. This was great. I loved getting more of Torge and Ren. I love them together. They're like, the tension between them is palpable. The longing. If you like longing, you will like this series, especially this book. Like this book has a lot of longing in it. I don't know. I really enjoy this world, and the plot was in this one okay. I think this book felt a little bit more fillery. It's not really a word, but like filler-esque to me, just because there wasn't a ton going on with the plot. I think we're mostly setting up for book 3 here, which left a lot of room to only like focus on the romance, which I was okay with in this instance because that's what I was in the mood for. And I like read through this really fast. The only thing that I would say kind of kept it from being a higher rating would be that it felt more like a filler book, which also makes sense because this one's quite a bit smaller than the other one. But yeah, that's all I'm really gonna say on this one. I enjoyed it, 4.25 stars. Highly recommend reading the Blood and Steel series first before going into this one if you're interested in it. But yeah, I really liked Blood and Steel. I think later on in Blood and Steel, I started giving those books like 5 stars, but I would say overall that's like a 4.5 star series for me. Like it's very high. It's not quite a 5 star, but it's like a very good rating. I enjoy it and I highly recommend it. So I finished that, and then I haven't read it all yet today. It's like 1 p.m. and I'm kind of like taking a bit of a work break. I've been very productive this week so far. Don't mind my clothes and stuff all over. I've been very productive. I've been getting up. I got up at 5:30 this morning. I've been getting up early, working out first thing, because something about me lately is that I need to get my life back on track. Like I need to get a schedule going again. For the last, I don't know, month or so, I have been just kind of like waking up whenever I want with no alarm, and that's great to take breaks and like be able to do that for a little while. But I feel like I work best with a routine. Like I need to get up with an alarm. I need to have a work routine, like certain times where I'm working, certain times where I'm taking breaks. That's just how my brain works best. And so we're very early on in the week. It's only Tuesday, but so far yesterday and today I have gotten up early successfully, gotten in my morning workout, and that also helps me kickstart my day with like more steps and more movement in general. So yeah, I would say this week is going well. I'm feeling pretty good about all of that, pretty productive. The next book, because I got off track, the next book that we are going to be picking up is The Front Runner by Elsie Silver, which again will be continuing the Gold Rush Ranch series. This is actually book 3. I forgot that I don't own Off to the Races, which is book 1, because I didn't like love that one. This is The Front Runner, and it follows Stefan Delka. As I think I mentioned before, Stefan is like kind of the bad guy in this series. He's kind of a little bit slimy, and the other characters don't really like him, but I'm assuming it's because they don't, you know him and stuff. This one also is fake dating, which I love that trope, so I'm very excited. And it also follows Mira, she's the FMC, and she is the veterinarian of like this ranch. So very excited to get into this. I have not started it yet, but I was like going through it. The dedication made me giggle. So it says, for all the women who've been told they should smile more. Fuck that noise, frown all you want. I love that. I love Elsie Silver. Her books can just do no wrong, in my opinion. I just highly enjoy them. I think I'm going to settle in for a little while and maybe get started on this book. Let you know when I have updates on that, but we have finished the first book of the vlog, which feels good. So we're caught up with this series. We are going to be continuing this series. It is now the next day, and I have some reading updates. I definitely did a lot of reading last night and into this morning, but before we get to that, I have a fun package that just came that I want to open with you guys. This is not directly from Illumicrate, by the way. This is something that I ordered off of seller on, was it Pango? Mercari. I can't remember where. I got it secondhand. I saw this edition and I could not resist. You might be able to guess what it is. I'm so excited. Hold on, let me get it out of the bubble wrap. Oh my god, this is beautiful. Ah! Are you kidding me? This clear dust jacket is insane. The way that they have portrayed these characters too is exactly the way that I picture them. But yeah, this is the Illumicrate special edition of The Irresistible Urge to Fall for Your Enemy by Bridget Knightley that I recently loved, devoured, gave 5 stars. And so when I saw the special edition, I was like, yeah, I think I need it. I think I just need it. I don't often feel the need to purchase special editions of books. I don't love having multiple copies of books unless it's like one of my top favorites, and this is definitely one of my top favorites. And wow. The edges are beautiful. I'm just obsessed with this clear dust jacket. I only have one other Illumicrate special edition. I think it's Starling House that has the clear dust jacket so you can see the naked hardcover behind it. Wow. Stunning. I'm obsessed with this. Like, this is definitely one of Illumicrate's better special editions, I would say. And paper artwork. Oh my god, I'm just like really excited for this. This dust jacket is pretty floppy though. Hold on. Okay. Oh my goodness. Beautiful. And I don't know if this one is signed or not. I haven't had an Illumicrate package come in the mail in a long time. Ooh, there's a note from the author I'm gonna have to go in and read for sure. And it is signed, yay. Anyway, I just had to share my excitement with somebody. Back to the reading updates. Oh my god, my eyes are so itchy and I'm so tired. I stayed up a little bit too late last night reading The Front Runner, and then today is a rest day for me, so I woke up and immediately started reading again, and I am now that far in. I am 252 pages in on chapter 25, so I would say I'm probably like 80% through this book, and I am loving it. Elsie Silver has done it yet again. I will say that because this is her first series, the writing is definitely less polished, and you can tell that she has really grown as a writer and an author throughout her career. Like Chestnut Springs, nothing beats that to me. And you can tell that this is one of her earlier works, but yet I am still immersed in this story. Like, Elsie Silver just has a way of creating these very complex characters, these in-depth characters that you really care about. I love them, and she also does romance so well. Like, the tension between these two is unbearable. I love it. I love it. And she's also the queen of slow burn. Not like the slowest burn. You still get quite a bit of like spice and stuff, but it usually doesn't start till like after the 50% mark. Oh my god. Guys. A bug just jumped on the leaf outside my window and it made the entire branch of the tree move. I just about jumped out of my skin. Anyway, what was I saying? The romance is amazing. I'm loving it. The tension between them. Elsie Silver is the queen of spice. Like, she just does romance and spice and all of that and tension so well. The longing. I love also that our MMC Stefan is like misunderstood. I've always loved that trope, but he's definitely misunderstood, and she's bringing out and seeing this softer side of him, and now she's like very protective of him, and I love that so much. I love when the MMC is very much outwardly like tough or like a bad boy, but then the FMC starts to bring out those softer qualities, those better qualities, and starts to kind of tear down those walls. And I love this. I don't know if this is gonna be, it's probably not a 5-star at this point in my head, but it's definitely like a solid 4-star right now. I don't know what else to say. I'm having a great time. It is Wednesday, midday. I need to go have lunch. I just showered. Feels great, everything shower. And yeah, I'm gonna have some lunch. I have a video I need to edit, so I don't know when I'll be able to sit down and read. Hopefully tonight, because all I can think about is sitting down and reading this book, and I love that. I love how immersed I always am in literally any Elsie Silver book ever. I'm just about it. I sit down, I read it in like a day or two, and it's amazing. It feels so good. So yeah, that's my update on this one, and we're gonna keep chugging along with the day. I went and finished The Frontrunner. It's the same day, it's nighttime now, but I did go and devour the last 20% of this, and it made me cry. Like, I got so invested by the end of this. I think I mentioned that the writing in this series is a little bit less polished. It is noticeable, but it doesn't take away from like the heart of the story and the characters, and just how Miss Elsie knows how to put together a good romance with tension and longing. Normally, I don't really like a third act breakup situation in a romance book, although they do tend to happen a lot because you've got to keep the story moving, right? This one just made the tension that much stronger and just made you want them to fight for each other even harder. The ending was, there was a lot going on. There was definitely a lot of big dramatic things happening, and I just ate it up. I ate it up. I cried. You could really feel how much these two just loved each other. And also Stefan, like the way that he is able to show his love for her and to show emotion, I found really refreshing, because I feel like not a lot of, I don't know if I want to say like not a lot of men cry in books, but like you can tell that Stefan is very willing to be emotional, and I loved that. I loved him. I loved his vulnerable side. I loved how well these two worked together, and that they weren't perfect. They could make mistakes, and yet you still love them and you're still rooting for them. And so yeah, this was absolutely wonderful. Like I said, the ending had me crying hard enough that I had to like take my glasses off because I couldn't see anymore. So yeah, that's always a sign of a great book, right? Is if it can make me feel something, and this definitely made me feel something. I think this might be my favorite of the Gold Rush Ranch series so far. I loved Violet's story too, which is book 2, but I think this one might be my new favorite in this series, because Stefan Delka,
wow,
the man that you are, I'm obsessed. But anyways, what would I rate this? I think I don't know if I want to give it 5 stars just because, like I said, there were a couple points where I thought like the dialogue and the writing were maybe a little bit cheesy. Again, this is Elsie's like early work, and there's obviously growth that happens over time. But even with that being said, I still want to give this a high rating. So I think for now, I'm going to settle on a 4.75. Like as close as you can get to a 5 stars is how I feel and what feels the most accurate to me without having it be like the perfect 5 stars, if that makes sense. So 4.75. That feels great to be going to bed having finished that. Now it is like 8 o'clock, which is about the time I usually would be getting in bed to start reading and being done for the night. But now I'm like, oh, do I want to start a new book right before going to bed? I actually, at the end of this book, there is a couple chapters of the next book in the series, which is A False Start, and that's Nadia's story, and I'm really like invested in her romance because you get a lot of Nadia in this book, which is Stefan's little sister. So now I'm like contemplating maybe going directly into that one. I don't know. We'll have to see what I get up to. I guess you guys will find out tomorrow because I think I'm gonna be done filming for the day. I'm gonna go have a little snack before bed because I feel hungry, and then I'm gonna go to bed and cuddle up and maybe read a few chapters of the next book. But yeah, that's all I got for you. Good morning. I keep forgetting to show you guys like any b-roll at all. So sorry. Like I plan to like show making my coffee as usual with like some ASMR. No, didn't happen. Drank half my coffee. Anyway, I have 4 updates, and that is that I did indeed start A False Start, like I mentioned I might do, last night in bed on my Kindle, and now between last night and this morning I am already almost halfway through. So needless to say, I am absolutely devouring this. I'm on chapter 18, which is about page 180. Sorry, this is literally my first time talking this morning. Anyway, I'm loving this. I really, really like the dynamic between Griffin and Nadia. Nadia, like I said, is Stefan's little sister, and you see her a lot in Frontrunner, which is Stefan's story. I just really like how, I don't know, she's young, but yet she's not like innocent or childish, or I don't know. I feel like she is innocent in some ways, but grown up in others, and so I really like that. I like her as a character, and I love how Griffin is he's your typical grumpy guy, but like he literally barely talks at all. You can tell he's got some stuff he's working on, things that are bothering him. He lives out in the middle of nowhere by himself. He's inexplicably drawn to Nadia, like they're very drawn to each other, and the tension between them, as always in an Elsie Silver book, is palpable. The tension is so good and so strong. The longing, the yearning, I love it. I feel like that is one thing that age gap romance does well. I don't know if I mentioned this already. This is age gap and also brother's best friend. But I think that what those tropes being in a story does really well is create yearning, right? Because you always have that one party who's like, we can't be together, you're off limits, you're too young. But you have the extra off limits factor of he doesn't want, he's pushing her away because he thinks that getting with his best friend's little sister is going to completely tear their relationship apart, and Stefan's one of the only good things he has in his life. And so it is a struggle that like makes sense. I hate when the conflict in a book is one that's just like stupid. Yes, this one is one that I'm like, okay, you could overcome this. You could sit down and have a conversation with Stefan, both of you could, and at least you would know one way or the other. And also at the end of the day, you're both adults and can make your own decisions. Like if you want to be together, you should be together, and the people around you should be happy for you. That aside, I am really enjoying this. I can see her writing already getting better throughout this series, and like it's cool to go back and read her backlist and see her growth as an author, because I love Elsie. I love her works. Her romances just have a special feel to them that I feel like not many other series have that same exact Elsie feel. And so yeah, I'm having a great time. I'm gonna be really sad when I finish this, because that will mean, I'm pretty sure that'll mean I've finished every book that's currently out by Elsie. So then what, you know? Also, I don't know if I mentioned this already, but I didn't realize there was character art in here. Like, hello? Why? I wish all of them had this. That'd be so cute. Anyway, that was a fun surprise. This one is a little bit thicker than the other one. This one has 400 pages, I think, but it's going by so fast that like it doesn't even matter how long Elsie makes her books because like I'm going to fly through them no matter what. They're just so easy to read. I love this setting of all of these. They all take place like on a ranch in Canada, and it's just everything's beautiful. The found family is beautiful. The side characters, I love all the side characters. The romance, we haven't really gotten a lot of that yet, but again, in typical Elsie fashion, because we are creeping up on the 50% mark, I think things are going to start to pick up, if you know what I mean. And so I'm very here for it. There's something about, like, I'm not always the biggest fan, I would say, of like age gap. Brother's Best Friend is kind of fun because it again creates that kind of like forbidden aspect, even if it's just mentally for the characters. But age gap, I'm always like, it needs to be done well, and so far this has been done really well. So loving it. Today is Thursday. What time is it? It's like 9:30, so I actually need to get headed out soon. I have an eyebrow appointment. That's why I wanted to get on and talk to you guys now, because after I go to this appointment, I'm gonna look like a lobster. My face is gonna be so red, as it always is. I might still get on later if I have updates, but I wanted to definitely get on before. And then my friend's coming over and we are doing a little co-working day. So I probably won't be filming during that. I don't like to really film when I have people over unless they like explicitly want to be in videos. Like I don't like trying to, you know, put a camera on somebody's face who's not signed up for this, right? So anyway, I'm going on a tangent. Apparently I just feel chatty this morning. But yeah, it's beautiful out. It's sunny out. I'm gonna go get my eyebrows done. I'm gonna hang out with my friend. She's bringing me a coffee. I'm gonna read later. I'm gonna get work done. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be a great day, and I hope you're having a great day too. It is now a couple of days later, I believe, since I last spoke to you guys. I've just been having a great weekend of being busy, being productive, but also reading in my free time. And I did finish, I don't think I've talked about like my final parting thoughts on this book, but I did finish this and I started another one. So we have reading updates. I finished A False Start yesterday morning and I really enjoyed this book. Like I said, this is age gap. It is Brother's Best Friend. You have a grumpy MMC. This follows Nadia and Griffin, and Nadia is Stefan's sister from the last book, The Front Runner, so you get little bits and pieces of her so that by the time this book rolls around, you're invested in her as well, in her background, her past, the things that she's gone through, the things that she's working through, right? They both her and Griffin have things that they are working on in this book. And I don't know, there was a lot of surprising things that came up towards the end of the book that I wasn't really expecting that added depth and maturity to their relationship. I've said this before, I don't really like, you know, third act breakups so much, but I did feel that like the conflict that arises in this one, I don't know, I feel like it was handled pretty well and again added a lot of maturity to their relationship, which age gap tends to need in order to feel right, in my opinion. I really enjoyed this. I flew through it as I do all Elsie Silver books. Like I said, this series might be a little bit less polished, but overall, like, it's still a great time. It's still Elsie. Elsie's still the queen of writing characters that you just really care about. And I ended up landing on a 4.5 star rating for this one because I think I rated Front Runner 4.75, and that one's definitely my favorite still. And this one's like very closely behind that, so 4.5 just made sense. But yeah, I highly recommend the series. Sad that it's over. Had a great time reading it nonetheless. And I'm leaving like lotiony fingerprints on everything. And then I did indeed go ahead and pick up Scarlet so that we can keep on with this continuation of series in this vlog. So this is book 2 of the Lunar Chronicles. And this one is more of like a Red Riding Hood retelling. It's funny, like her name, the main character that you get introduced to in this book, her name is Scarlet, which is obviously a play on red. And then she meets this street fighter. So she's looking for her grandmother who is missing. Nobody seems to know anything. The police don't seem to be doing anything. Her grandmother goes missing from their farm. Then she happens to meet this street fighter guy, this intriguing, mysterious street fighter guy named Wolf. Like people call him Wolf. And so you can see the obvious Red Riding Hood influences coming in here. I don't know, I really like this series a lot. Like I said, book 1 is a Cinderella retelling, and Cinder's story in book 1 does end on a cliffhanger, and you get her point of view in this book as well. So you're following 2 separate timelines, 2 separate characters, not timelines, same timeline but separate character stories. You get Scarlett's POV and what's going on with her and trying to find her grandma, and then you have Cinder's POV, which takes off right from where the first book left us. I'm really liking both POVs. I'm really liking both of their stories, and I'm intrigued to see how the two are going to eventually interweave. I'm only like 136 pages in, chapter 14. So I am like flying through, because I only read this a little bit yesterday and then a little bit this morning. And that's the thing about this series that I've noticed so far, is that it's so easy to read, so easy to understand, that you just absolutely fly through it without even realizing how quickly you're devouring it. So love that. That's always a good feeling. I'm really enjoying the plot lines this story's taking, and I'm really intrigued to see what happens with Cinder, because the way the last book ends is it's dramatic. There are a lot of reveals, and there's just so much going on in these books. And I'm just having a really, really good time. I also love the like urban fantasy sci-fi vibe of this series, because you've got like cyborgs, you've got hover vehicles, you've got spaceships basically that they just call ships that are on Earth, but they can just like take off into space in 2 seconds. You have people living on the moon, and I don't know, it's just really, really different and fun from pretty much anything I've really read, because again, it's combining a kind of more dystopian urban fantasy world with sci-fi elements. I'm highly enjoying this. So yeah, that's my update on this one for now. It is Sunday morning, and I do plan to hopefully get a lot of reading in later, but I also do have like Sunday chores and things to do, plus like some plans, so we'll see how much reading I actually get up to. Hopefully you can see me. I feel like the camera is not quite high enough. Okay, I have reading updates on Scarlett. I am now over halfway through. I'm on page 312, chapter 31, so I would say probably almost like 70% of the way through. And things are picking up in the plot. We've got some high stakes journeying going on. Like I said, our main character Scarlett is kind of teaming up with someone. She's on a journey to find her grandmother, to find out what happened to her, and we're finding some things out. There's been some twists and turns and all of that, and I'm really loving this. I love how, like I said, fast-paced these books are. I like both POVs that we get. Like, we're following, you know, Cinder and then also Scarlett, and they're in 2 separate places still, and I'm really enjoying both of those stories. The other thing I wanted to say is there is a developing kind of like enemies to lovers-esque romance that's really, really fun. I'm really enjoying this. I feel like the stakes have been upped. Like in the last chapter that I just read, the stakes have been upped, and I fear war is on the horizon. So I'm excited to see what's going to happen in like this last 30% of the book. And I'm sure that we will probably end on some kind of a cliffhanger, if not like even a mild one, because there are 2 more books. The next one is Cress, and I honestly don't know anything about it. Like, I don't know what retelling that one follows, but like I said, I'm excited. It's now Monday night, and I'm probably gonna go walk a little bit to round out my steps for the day before getting into my pajamas so I can sit down and read some more of this. I kind of have a little bit of YouTube I want to catch up on. I'm excited to continue reading this, so I'll let you know probably the next time I update you guys, I'll be finished with this, and I believe this will be the last book that we'll be reading in today's vlog. Reading update time. It is now Tuesday. I was gonna say morning. I guess it is still morning, but I feel like I've lived an entire life at this point. I wanted to come on and update you guys. My bookmark's in the wrong place because I was reading on my Kindle, but I did indeed finish Scarlet this morning. This was wonderful. I really enjoy these books, and I've said it time and time again, and I'll say it again. They're just so fun and fast-paced. There's always something going on with the plot. This one does end also on a bit of a cliffhanger, which is to be expected when you still have 2 books to go. But it's not really like, it's the kind of cliffhanger where they kind of they set up the next book perfectly, and they kind of lay out like what the next book is kind of going to look like, which I enjoy, because then I don't feel, it's not that I don't feel the urge to pick the next one up right away, but I don't feel that like need the next book right now. It almost feels like each one kind of wraps up nicely while keeping you excited for the next book, if that makes sense. But yeah, no, this was a wonderful time. I loved seeing Cinder and Scarlet's timelines, their stories kind of come together. I loved seeing the kind of enemies to lovers romance between Scarlet and Wolf kind of take on a life of its own. And yeah, I don't know, I really just enjoyed the characters in this book. I really love this world and how unique it feels. Like it's the real world, but it's in the future, it's dystopian, there's a lot of technological advancements. We've got hover cars and cyborgs and spaceships flying to and from, you know, from Earth into space at literally any given second. And it's really fun. It's just a really good time. I love that each book also pulls in like a fairy tale retelling. This one being Riding Hood. Sorry, these soft touch covers, I always see like fingerprints, and it bothers me. I think I rated Cinder like 4 or 4.5 stars, and I liked this one just as much, if not maybe even more. I think I'm gonna land on like a 4.5 stars. It's not quite a 5-star feeling, but it's so fun that I think giving it a high 4-star is fair. And yeah, I'm really enjoying this series. So now I have to go pick up Cress at some point and figure out which fairy tale retelling that one's gonna bring in. But yeah, I'm excited, and with me finishing this, that brings us to the end of this video. So let's kind of go through the books that we read. I'm not gonna do an in-depth review of them because, you know, you already watched the video. I'm assuming you did, and so therefore you already got my thoughts, so we don't need to be redundant and everything. But I did want to kind of wrap up and summarize all of the series that we either completed or made headway in. So at the start of the video, we read Thorns and Fire, which is book 2 of the Ashes of Thesmar series by Helen Schorer, and that means we are now caught up, we are up to date with this series. I can't remember when book 3 comes out, but this one just came out, so we've got some time. We're caught up in that series. Completed the Gold Rush Ranch series by reading The Frontrunner and then book 4, A False Start. Love this series, love Elsie Silver. I'm so sad that this is over, but very satisfied that I have completed a series off of my list. We made progress in the Lunar Chronicles by reading book 2, and this is book 2 out of 4. So yeah, we made progress. No, we caught up with one, completed another, and then made progress in a third. So this, I feel like, was a raging success for our continuing and finishing series. I'm in the middle of little series that I'm doing. This is episode 2. I'm hoping there will be more episodes of this in the future. So if you do like these kinds of videos, be sure to let me know in the comments. Like, subscribe so you don't miss any more of these episodes in the future from me. But thank you so much for coming along on this like 2-week journey of me, you know, making progress in series that I'm in the middle of. There are still quite a bit to go, but I feel like I've been doing a better job lately of keeping on top of series and just trying to read them, if not back to back, at least not leaving too much time in between the books, because then I just like find that I don't care anymore. With all of that being said, I am going to leave you here. Thank you so much for watching. I love you so much, and I hope to catch you in the next one. Bye!